I'm going to speed through this because I fucked up. Didn't hit record. Sitting here talking to myself, fucking fuming about how dog shit this game is. All three of these are the same. They're dog shit. Inflated health pools, uh, tons of mobs just to fucking overwhelm you. And if you're not running meta or like locking key bills that are pretty much, you have to run clear ads here, super DPS there, and it's just very tedious, annoying. Super crazy health pools where old ones are. I think the big thing about this is when you're solo flawlessing, there's room for error, and when you're in a group, it's obviously cakewalk. But the group content has been proven to be a cakewalk. That's not a problem. It's obviously when you're solo, it's tedious, it's annoying. Even in a group, these numbers are tedious and annoying. You're forced to run a loadout, and still, there's variables that make it so that's not a consistent DPS phase. You have things that are going to force you to have to move and deal with a boss that's tweaking, where this is as simple as let loose on a boss, have fun. This is tedious cuck shit that you don't want to replay or try to do a challenge run on because it's not content that's for fun. More than double the ads having to be killed in a speed run. Yes, this has been refined over years and years of playing this dungeon, but I'm going to assume that most people don't want to speedrun this dungeon because it's disgusting, it's boring, inflated health pools. It's not fun. It's not fun. What is this? I don't know. Might be fucking a deep dive. It's Ghost. This might be Ghost the Deep. I don't know. Unoriginal boss fight arena. We have no cover. Pretty much boss just kind of fucking floats in the middle and just gives up, but like it's still spraying you with nonsense, and I mean, the entire arena is just disgusting. Same thing's pretty much done in Vespers. It looks like we're gonna give you no cover. This spams you with moss. This spams you with lightning, but the boss is 8 years away in a quote unquote. Well, he's at a distance, so he's not in melee range. You should be fine. This might be Deepstone Crypt. I think this is Vespers. I don't know. They all look the same. I think this has got to be Deepstone Crypt. Uninspired mechanics that have been pretty much reused, and you'd be like, "Wow, this is. What do you mean reused? The lenses are new. We've never seen this light beam." And well, 3 hallways with a puzzle in the center. Revolving around symbols. Oh my god! No way. We've done it before, guys. We've done it before. It's been in a raid. So funny that a dungeon is becoming raid level content. Unoriginal room with bosses that look disgusting. With pretty much the only threat being we're going to spam you with ads and fucking bullets. So, you know. Also, this room looks exactly like this room. Anybody with half a brain sees it. You have random rocks and pillars just coming up, green, grassy, low points, with the focal point of the room being in the back middle. Similar thing in the boss fight. I have not done the game, the new dungeon, because I do not want to install the game. I have solely watched probably 8 clears yesterday. I could not stop because I was giggling at how awful this looks. I understand, yes, it was contest. Even without contest, this is going to be just boring, one-time clear, and there's no reason to ever touch this garbage again. So this boss room, you have left, right, 2 rooms you can enter. Oh, wow, that's pretty much something that just came out, and we're already rehashing that concept. One of the later rooms in Prophecy's boss fight, I would say, is very similar, where you have a lot of these weird pillars that are fake cover, because you have usually like ogres on the outside of the room or something that are fucking posing threat. It's not like the actual threat is I don't know, it's a very weird, it just feels similar. Bottom room, the sun mechanic, it all just feels fucking, it looks awful. I feel like this strike had a similar fucking weird DOT mechanic. Forced meta. Anarchy seems like goated for second encounter. Grand Overture for Vespers, and if you don't have Anarchy, well, almost mandatory in many of these just because the healing over time is retarded. and the fact you can stand still during DPS. Queen Breakers because of particle reconstruction right now. Sunshot for ad clear, especially when contest is off. It's just too free of a brain shut off, click, things happen. Set and forget artifact system, super boring. Pretty much any build, any character, you're going to get pretty much the same value. Because more times than not, you're running a specific build on the artifact for endgame content. You're not running it for your specific build. Yes, you can run fun little goofy, oh, this has void, that has void, this is arc, that's, on blind. But more times than not, there are going to be the outliers that are just raw DPS gains, or inherent, you're getting things back, faster reload. So why would you want to run the goofier things? No, you're not. You're not gonna. Because also, crafting, and Banshee, just in general, handing shit out, replayability is just kind of tanks because of this. I know back in the day, you could actually grind content because, you wouldn't even grind content back in the day because it was as simple as you knew most roles boiled down to Rampage, Outlaw, something similar to that. Where, now we have the same thing, but you can craft them. Maybe you have a slightly different DPS role that is infinite ammo or something. But in general, crafting kind of pretty much broke the whole purpose of getting new loot, getting light, anything of that purpose. We're pretty much at a point where now we should focus on just adding actual more shit for us to do with less loot. I don't need loot if it's useless. It's all useless. Everything you add to the game is useless now at this point, because unless it's some busted exotic, it's kind of just a filler loadout that would have to have some crazy new god perk that just performs way better than old shit. Also, one completion of a dungeon and you're pretty much guaranteed to get anything. Now, you can just wait and possibly they'll hand it out. As I said, overtuned Battle Pass exotics, but also in this, most of the consistent cosmetics you're going to get are going to come from this, because I would say most content actually added to the game is hit or miss. I could show Sunder Doctrine's gear. That shit looks awful. It just kind of looks generic, where you always have a chance that Battle Pass is actually decent looking, and all you have to do is just play the game. Video I made 4 years, almost 5 years now at this point, addressing pretty much all of the topics, as I was a Destiny 1 diehard. Game had no direction. They're not afraid to reuse content, which I made that video when I was talking about Vault of Glass being conceptualized. It was a leak. It was a murmur, and that murmur became a holler and somehow has become the norm. Lack of meta shift, as I've said before. If you pretty much don't run meta, boring game. But it's funny because Celestial Sleeper, Whisper, Outbreak, all guns that continue to perform very well, despite there being tons and tons of just slop. And a lot of the slop is surprisingly new stuff we add. So we can't create new things that are original and fun and good. Very cool. Yeah, you have fun things like this. Not fun. Still Hunt was not fun, bro. We just took Celestial and gave it a gun. We gave Celestial a gun, and that shifted meta for a little bit. Battle Pass hands out most things. Pretty much said that. Content is doable in an afternoon. That is funny because that is a big thing a lot of people argue about now. And funnily enough, that was a problem 5 years ago, almost. So we have not improved upon that. It has been a problem that has only continued to just get worse, I would say. And while I have that on my head, we are so fond to remaster things like Vault of Glass and King's Fall and The Moon. The Moon got a whole ass DLC, if anybody recalls. And I don't know where this narrative came that Prison of Elders was good. Personally, I enjoyed it because it was a more casual PvE experience. It was more wave defense. You're stuck in this little bubble, and it was kind of like a strike. They were like strikes back in the day. You can get them done pretty quick, and you fought multiple bosses throughout one little thing. But back in the day, I feel like it was not looked upon fondly. It was just kind of there. There was definitely people enjoyed the raids more. People enjoyed the other casual content more. To say Prison of Elders had to come back in Destiny 2 is just more of that proof that nobody knows what the fuck they're doing or why they're doing it. And then, as I said, Moon got a whole DLC. We gave Moon an actual remaster slightly. So there's actual purpose to slightly add the Moon. There's different things on the Moon. We're going to put the Dreadnought in a seasonal activity that's probably going to get removed in less than a year. It's very odd. Especially when I wouldn't be surprised they're going to find a way to then loop back and then make it an entire DLC and just waste more time. So a whole season right now is just getting blown away because we would rather make it a season instead of saying, guys, we're gonna give you what you want and give you the whole ass Dreadnought as an explorable destination that could be fun. But dead playlist. Oh, cosmetics. Oh, try. Oh my god. Yeah, titles have no value. Oh my god. Yeah. You take a month, 2 months off the game, come back, and you pretty much have missed a whole gameplay loop or a seasonal's worth of content. Any weapons. I don't know how punishing it is now. You might have a year to do it, but I know back then I pretty much missed like one season, and because I was playing since D1 beta till Witch Queen, and I kind of just was like, let me take a break. I missed out on mods, and it instantly showed like, oh my god, you are at a huge deficit if you take any time off this game. There are just people that are going to have cooler builds, better builds, because I can't access the things that are 2 months back. It's just absurd. Eververse being just a cash fucking cow, prick, terrible system. I mean, I don't even have to explain Star Wars bundles. I mean, all those. It's disgusting what they're trying to milk. Dead playlist, which is pretty much Gambit, got killed because of what I said here. Not my fault, guys. I pretty much said it in the video. I said, we have all these extra playlists. Gambit Prime's the only one that matters because you have the cool armor buffs and the special classes, and it was faster paced. And then now we got a hybrid of Gambit that's just worse in every way. Crucible probably hasn't got touched at all. Probably still just has tons of dead playlists that people don't actually play. And same with Vanguard shit. There's probably like 3 or 4 things that, guys, why do we have matchmaking for this when nobody's actually doing it? Let's say build crafting dull, certain mods pointless in most content, which pretty much boils down to if you're not running weapon surges and like survivability or upkeep mods, then you're pretty much throwing. It was pretty much the same problem back then. If you're not running the Warmind cell, then every other mod just felt lackluster. So good to know we're in a pretty much probably a similar point where if you're not, like yesterday in contest, it looked pretty much like that. If you're not running those specific mods, you're going to just kind of continue to head bash and you're throwing. It's not a skill issue. It's a lock and key, boring, tedious cuck experience. Factions. We had a thing early on in Destiny 2 that had factions come into the game, but that was short-lived and has never been expanded upon since. Nostalgia, not an old game. Yeah, very weird. I can understand if it was like a game like World of Warcraft made in the early 2000s, but we are talking about a game that is not even 10 years old. The game cannot drink. The game cannot smoke. The game cannot drive. And we are caring about nostalgia. It's very odd. I don't even think the game has gotten its first boner yet. So, let's be honest. We're talking about fucking nostalgia, and I can't even get a boner? It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. It's very weird. Treasure of the Ages were legit the best. That's Destiny 1 end of the cycle. they pretty much said, oh, Eververse is a scam. We're going to pretty much hand out any content that was locked behind that. Pretty much anything you do in the game would hand you one of these packages, and the package pretty much boiled down to, as I said, anything she had, which is not like Destiny 2 of years of bloat. We're going to add shitty legendary ghost shells, little ghost projections, shitty legendary ships. Legit, everything in Eververse was added. I say that with a grain of salt, but I would say in Destiny 1, it felt like you would open that package and you were almost, pretty much you were guaranteed to get something and be like, wow, sick, fuck yeah. Where now it is like, you could open probably 20 bright engrams and still not see a single thing that actually it presents any value to you. It is a joke of a system that is just diluted and anti-consumer. And since that video, I've watched that video a couple times now just to really see where Destiny's... I mean, obviously I haven't really looked into where Destiny is right now, but from what it sounds like, it's kind of a dying spiral that is not inspired, and they continue to do a lot of the similar things, but based off of what I complained about, it seems like transmog is one of the only things they added. Which, in the grand scheme of it, they only added transmog because it benefits the sales of Eververse. It is what it is, guys. They sell the things that you can use to transmog. You're limited on how many you get in a season. And then on top of that, pretty sure Eververse bundles and all that shit are auto free transmog. So like it incentivizes. Look at, you can just buy this bundle and you already get you just get everything. You get it all on your character. Isn't that cool? So I could schizo ramble forever about how this game's just kind of gone down a bad spiral, but anybody with half a brain that doesn't see like the path that the dungeons are going down alone, I think the problem is we're starting to get to a point where maybe it is mostly hardcore players, but it's very odd because I would have to assume it's going to be mostly casual older men playing, which I don't know how, if you're an older guy with limited amount of time, you could find fun in head bashing in a dungeon. It just doesn't sound like a great time. I mean, even if you're running best in slot stuff, best gear, you're copying a video to a T. There's so many variables when it comes to these new ones just because of cuck-like mechanics and enemies that are gonna pull you or stun you or freeze you and just real stupid shit. It's not fun. It's not fun. That's all I had to say.